you have officially entered the break room. This person was a club promoter for a month in PT school.
This person booked a last-minute trip to the Dominican Republic the day after taking boards because she had to flee the country.
I feel something on my leg. I felt something bite my right butt cheek. I'm like opening up my pants and she's like taking the ants out. They're literally like stuck to the inside of my pants.
2 days before I was supposed to start this job, recruiter contacts me and basically says, so actually the clinic that you were supposed to work at, it ended up being bought out. Because of that, you basically have to completely reapply. So working on planning my Europe trip. We're officially going to Mallorca.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Physio Diaries podcast. We are your co-hosts, Dr. Melanie Ziaziaris
and Dr. Koshevatskiy, where students, healthcare professionals, and wellness junkies come to get the inside scoop of the healthcare and wellness industry.
The podcast you didn't know you needed by your favorite travel physical therapist. What's good, physio friends? You have officially entered the break room. We love these break room talks episodes because we get to chit chat, catch up with each other and you guys, update you on our travels and life, and answer your questions. We talk every day, but we honestly save a lot of our stories for the pod. Before we get into it, we want to thank you guys for following our journey, engaging with us, listening, following, all of the above. But we have one favor to ask you. Since it has now been maybe about 30 seconds, you can go rate our podcast, preferably 5 stars, and you can do it at the same time as listening. So please go rate us, help us out, because we want to grow and get really cool guests and just really expand the pod. Please help us out. Time to catch up.
Mel, I want to hear all about your trip to Mexico.
Yes. Okay.
I was texting you throughout, but Mel's like, oh my God. Like, she could tell me a little bit, but we want to get our initial reaction for you guys on the podcast. So go for it.
Yes. Okay. So Mexico City was there Tuesday to Sunday, literally got back yesterday night. It was such a cool city. I honestly was very shocked at the dynamic of the city. It felt like a New York, but cleaner and prettier. Like it was such a booming city. There were so many different areas and things to see and things to do. They have a really big park. I forget the name now, but it's bigger than Central Park. So that already tells you what you need to know about Mexico City.
Dang.
Yeah.
I did not know like people compare it to like New York. That's wild.
It really felt like it. Just like a foreign, clean, pretty New York. But the food was amazing. The food was so good there. They have so many cool, like, just restaurants and bakeries and cafes and vibes. Like, if you're a foodie, you will love Mexico City. They have like everything. I even got like really good sushi there, which is like,
oh wow, very unexpected.
You don't think about that. Yeah. Literally me and our friend Tracy, we went and got like massages and like a little spa day, and it was at the Intercontinental in Polanco, and we see like Tokyo Bar and we're like, interesting. Is that sushi? And we enter a speakeasy in this hotel and it was so good.
Oh my gosh, the FOMO is real because I was supposed to go on this trip initially, and then I just realized the timing of it just wouldn't work out. And so I was like, I need to exit this group chat because I was getting FOMO like months before the trip even happened. But I'm so glad you guys went. Like, oh, it looked so nice.
It was we got there Tuesday. It was just like a chill Tuesday. We went out to eat and kind of just got settled in. Wednesday, I didn't realize how early we were supposed to be doing this, but we had to leave our Airbnb at 4:30 a.m. to
shut up. What? This for the hot air balloon?
Yeah. And we did hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Yes, because they only do it at sunrise. And it was actually such a cool experience. It was so calming. There was probably like 20 of us on this hot air balloon, but there were probably like 30 hot air balloons with 20 people in the sky. Like the whole area was just hot air balloons in the sky. It was so cool. If you're on the newsletter, you'll see some pictures. It was so cool. Yes, it was so cool though. And
that drone video that you sent me was really, really cool.
Yeah. They had it. It was so organized too. We were actually not expecting it to be as organized as it was, but like they had a person that was guiding us to everything. We had a personal driver that picked us up from the Airbnb and dropped us off and stayed with us throughout the tours. And then we had another person for us for like the photography and the drones. And then we had another tour guide for like tequila tasting and like the pyramids. So it was like
Wait, was that
everything.
all one package?
Yes, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait,
So it
did
was like,
Brenda do the tequila tasting?
no, she just gave it to us. But like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Wait, that's awesome. I love how
Yeah.
I love like organized things like that because it's like you
Mhm.
just pay the money and then you sit back and just like
Yeah.
go with the flow and have somebody that's
Yeah.
like a local like guide you and they know what they're doing and
Yeah.
you just get to like enjoy and go from like bop around from one place to
Uh-huh.
the other.
Totally. It was a really good day, except for this one part that
Uh-oh.
so bugs love me, of course. I don't know why. I have not figured it out. I don't even wear that much perfume. Like it just doesn't make sense
Uh-huh.
to me outside of my blood type. But I'm A positive, so I'm like, that's like the most common one of the most common ones. We land the hot air the guide or the person lands the hot air balloon in this field. We landed a little more inland from the street. And so we
Mhm.
needed to get closer to the street. So we all get out of the hot air balloon and are in this field. Okay.
Ugh.
This gives me
I see
actual
where this is
PTSD.
going. Oh my gosh.
This gives me such PTSD. So as we're standing in this field, right? Like 20 of us there. Of
Uh-huh.
course, I am the only one who experiences this, but I feel something on my leg and I'm wearing these flowy pants, okay? I feel something on my leg and I look down and we are standing on
Ew.
top of a fire ant hill.
What?
I want to throw up thinking about this still to this day.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So we're standing on top of fire ants. They're everywhere,
Why did they
everywhere.
decide to land on a fire ant hill?
It just depends on, I don't know, it depends on a lot of
Ah,
factors, but it wasn't like, I don't think we were supposed to necessarily land there, it just depends. But like, there's a whole team that comes out and is like tracking the hot air balloon. So there's like 20 guys helping us that are like part
yeah.
of it. But I look down, we're standing on a fire ant hill, and I
Ugh.
just start like freaking out and I feel them crawling on me. I swear,
Ah.
I kid you not, I felt something bite my right butt cheek. I am flipping the fuck out.
Wait, were you still on the hot air balloon at this point?
No, we were off of the hot air balloon. And at this
Oh
point,
my
I'm like running away from it because I'm like, okay, it's just that anthill. And then I look down and they're everywhere. At this
gosh.
point, Brenda's standing next to the hot air balloon. Like there's a loop and you can kind of stand halfway on the hot air balloon. And then other people are just standing in the field. And I'm like, how is no one else getting bit up by ants?
Uh,
And I'm like, I can't get them off of me. I don't know what to do. Someone else is like another
did
girl we
anyone
met.
realize that like what was happening?
Yes, yes. No was freaking out on her own. Also was in her own world. And then this other girl that was
Wait, was
there's
Tracy there
another.
yet or no?
No, no, she was not.
Okay, because she's terrified of heights, so she I was
Yeah,
gonna
no, no,
say
she
like
would
she would
never.
not do well.
No, 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 she would never. There was another group of girls that we were with, and one of them was like, "Let me help you. Like, what can I do?" And I'm like, "Help me get them out of my pants." I'm like opening up my pants, and she's like taking the ants out. They're literally like stuck to the inside of my pants.
Ugh.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm like, I can't be on the ground. I need to get back in the hot air balloon. So I jump back into the hot air balloon, and I'm the only one in there. But I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I cannot be on
Oh
this
my
ground.
god.
I see one on my arm. We like flick it off, and
Are
like
they
they're
big
all.
or are they like teeny
Yeah,
tiny?
no, no, no. They're like they're big for ants. Like
This
you
is
would
like
see
my
them and
worst
be like,
nightmare.
this is not a normal ant. Like you know, it's not a
Ow.
normal ant,
And when they
and they're
bite,
red.
it hurts?
Yes, and they're red
Oh my
because
gosh.
they're fire ants, so it
Yeah.
stings.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm back in the hot air balloon. The other girl is, shout out to Cameron, is helping me like get these ants off of me. And
And they weren't
now we're,
biting her?
no one was biting, getting bit
Just
except
you.
for me. And we're starting to go to the street, and Brenda's like, hop on my back. I'll piggyback you, like piggyback ride you out. And so I'm on Brenda's back, and then we go to the street. But
Dang.
these are from the fire ants.
Oh my gosh. Those look like, yeah, little bruises.
Literally, it looks like a
Like
bat with
scratches.
fangs, like a bit
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Oh my god. Were you
Yeah.
scratching it or that's just what it
Oh my
looks
god, it
like?
was so itchy. Thank gosh I had itch relief cream with me because I had
Yeah.
bug bites from Florida that I was getting over, and I had the itch relief cream with me, but I was like, I don't know if I like can get any type of toxicity from these. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have
Yeah.
a reaction. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. And because I got
Mhm.
bit on my left leg, my right butt cheek, and my arm.
Oh my gosh. And it's funny too because last week in the newsletter, if you guys don't get it, you should sign up because we tell you guys background stuff we do not share sometimes on the podcast because we only have time to do this like in our break room talks. But Mel was saying how last week you went to the beach and by the
Mhm.
beach there was a bunch of like no-see-ums and you had just got attacked. And you sent me the
Yes.
picture of your legs and I'm like, you look
Yeah.
like you have polka dots on
It
your legs.
literally
Like,
looked like chicken pox, full
yeah,
on.
or chicken pox. There's like so many of them on your legs. And when
Yeah.
you showed me that, I thought that was still from that, not some new bug or something.
Like, of course, I'm getting bit up by fire ants in freaking Mexico City. Like, what the fuck?
Uh, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
hopefully no more bug attacks for you for a while. I think
I
it's enough
know.
for like the year or
I was like,
more.
I need all the tequila right now. But
Yeah. Wait,
yeah,
do you guys want tequila tasting after the hot air balloon ride then?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Wait, did you watch Phineas and Ferb?
Like a long time ago, yes.
You, Brenda brought this up, but she's like, do you know
Okay.
that scene where Candace has ants in her pants?
Like, yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar.
It's okay. She like pulled up this YouTube video of Candace from Phineas and Ferb with ants in her pants, and it's like a whole cartoon like animation of her getting bit up by fire ants in her pants. And
And that
she's
was
like, "This is
basically
you,"
you.
and this was
Yeah.
me. This was me.
Oh my gosh, so
Unfortunate,
unexpected.
very, but everything else went
Yeah.
great for the most part.
Okay. Yeah, how was the rest of
Um,
the trip?
yeah, it was like I said, we went to a lot of just like foodie things, a lot of really nice restaurants, a lot of sightseeing, a lot of walking around. We
Mhm.
went to the Frida Kahlo Museum and the archaeological museum? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but one of the big, like, museums there. There was one day I ended up I met some friends from Canada, and I third wheeled them for a night, and I think this was actually Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
I slept in because I was like, after waking up at 4:30 AM, I am not waking up early. I am going to sleep in, have a
Yeah.
slow morning, do a little workout, and then start my day. And then Jaws and I are like early birds and they like were out and about. So we kind of like flip-flopped schedules and Tracy wasn't there yet. And so
Mhm.
I was heading out as they were going back home. And
Okay.
I went to this, I'll post this picture, but it was actually in the Sears, like they have a bunch of Sears, like the department
Oh,
store still there,
wait,
and it's like this
didn't they go out of
cafe
business though in the
in the
States?
yeah, I don't know, I don't get
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. But they have
That's
this
funny.
cafe that overlooks this like really nice, pretty, I don't know if it's a cathedral. It kind of looked like a church, but it was like really big and really nice, very aesthetic, great views. So I was there and I was like, I don't want to go home yet. Let me just check out a bar, like see what the vibes are. So I'm going to this bar on my own, right? It's a speakeasy, so it's kind of hard to find. There's this other couple. They're also looking for something. I'm like, "Are you guys trying to go to Hanky Panky?" They were like, "Yeah, we think this is it." And we were all like,
Uh,
"Yeah, I think so." And then they're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, this is Hanky Panky." And we were like, "Okay." Of course, no openings or anything. It's only reservations. So then we're like, all right, ding, good luck. So we go separate ways. I end up finding this other place called Brooklyn Bar, but it's also a speakeasy. And I go there and they take me back. I am legitimately the only person in this bar and
mhm.
speakeasy.
What time was it? Was it early?
Six-ish? It was
Okay.
six-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like to be the only one there, and like this is supposed to be like a more known
Yeah.
place too. And I was like, to be the only woman here feels weird.
Yeah.
And only person, period, feels weird. So I'm
Period.
walking out. I see the couple again. And they're like, were you at Brooklyn Bar? And I was like, yeah, but I was the only one and I did not feel comfortable with that. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, valid. And then they were just like, do you want to just like walk and see like what's around? And so we're walking and talking. We see this place. It kind of looked like an Italian place. And
Mhm.
so we go to the bar there and we're just like getting drinks, talking away. Like they're in their 40s and 50s, but they look 10 years younger than they are. Like they
Uh-huh.
were in great shape and everything. And they like, she had tattoos everywhere, like neck tattoo. Like she was so cute, so aesthetic.
Uh-huh. Wait, I
Um,
can't believe because you sent me that picture of you too, and I would have never guessed she was in her 40s. Like I
yes,
would have
yes. She's
thought like maybe
41.
mid 30s.
Right?
Like she looks
Yeah.
great.
Yes, yes. And so we're just drinks, rounds
Vibing.
going. Yeah. He was taking care of it all. And I was like, I feel like I'm their child right now, or like, I don't know. But we get like
Whatever it
3 rounds.
is, we love it.
Yeah. We got 3 rounds of drinks. And then they were like, we actually have a reservation to Taverna. It's like a Mediterranean place. And they're like, do you want to join us? And I was like, are you sure? Like, I don't want to,
Yeah.
it's cool. Like, if you guys want you time. And
Yeah.
they're like, "No, we do like, we're always together, like, we enjoy having someone else." And I was like,
Aw.
"Alright, let's go to dinner together."
What?
So we go to dinner together, more drinks, more food, such a good
Uh,
vibe, and I was really with them for, like, 3 hours.
what? I love
Yeah,
that. I
and
love how
it
you
was
had
like
on your little side quest, like, Brenda and Jocelyn came home after their tour, and you're like, "I'm going out, peace," and then just, like, turning wheels. I
I
love
literally Brenda was like, "Hi, are you alive? We haven't heard from you." And I was just like, "Made a new friend."
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. You're like
Yeah, they
5
were
drinks
so cool.
in.
You
Yeah, oh my gosh,
literally.
that's awesome.
I
Yeah,
love their vibe.
I saw her in the picture and I was like, she just looks cool. Like when
Yeah.
someone has like
Mhm.
tattoos everywhere, like you know
Yeah.
they're just like awesome.
Yeah, and they are from Toronto, but they, like, travel all the time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially they're Canadian. Like Canadians are so nice.
Yeah,
Like
for
they're
sure.
just the sweetest people ever and very like
Yeah.
welcoming.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
that was
hilarious.
it was a fun adventure. It was so unexpected. I was like, "Let me just go to this bar on my own," end up making
Yeah.
friends, go and get drinks and dinner with them. Yeah, it was so
Yeah,
fun.
I love that. I love, like, just meeting new people, and I feel like we're not phased by it. A lot of people are very like, "Okay, this is my friend circle. I'm comfortable with the people that I know." Anytime they meet somebody new, like, I used to be like this before I got into this career. I would just kind of be a little quiet. I didn't know how
Mhm.
people thought of me, and I didn't really
Yeah.
know the people, and I didn't know what we had in common. But now I'm like, I'm not even phased when you meet a new person, even if they're, like, completely different than you, it's like, so what? Like, you wanna get to know them. You wanna, like, I don't know, get to know their life story a little bit, and
Mhm.
some people are
Yeah.
very open, like, to just, like, hanging out with new people, and I love that because I definitely am too. Like, that
Yeah.
sounds like something that I would do too, especially with Emily, my twin sister. We kind of just make friends, like, in random places. Like, "Oh my gosh, we have this in one thing in common? Okay, perfect. Let's be, like, best friends," you know?
Yeah,
So,
and it's
I
like
love
the
that.
energy that you go into it with is the energy you get, right? Like, I
Yeah,
genuinely remember thinking on my Uber ride over to the speakeasy, like, maybe I'll meet someone at the bar and like talk to them or like meet someone new, you know? I kind of like that.
yeah.
I remember having that thought. And then I was like, holy shit, I just like manifested this interaction and like this night.
Wow. Yeah. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
what was your favorite part about your trip overall?
Oh,
Or
the hot
maybe to
air.
give like 2.
Yeah. I love spontaneity in vacations, like when random things just like happen, just experiencing something you didn't plan to. There were a couple other times where kind of that like happened. And I love that part of trips, the unplanned things. And then the hot
Yeah.
air balloon was fun. One thing that we should have done that we didn't was the thermal pools, the like hot springs. We thought they were much
Oh,
further away though. We thought because it said 4 hours and the actually, the traffic in Mexico City is some of the worst traffic I've ever seen. There
yeah.
was one time during rush hour, like around 6 PM, I was going 4.5 miles. It took an hour, 15 minutes.
I know you told me that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and so the thermal pools, depending on what time you look at, it is 4 hours. So we were like, we don't wanna waste an entire
4?
day one
Yeah.
way, like 4 hours one way, but I guess it just depends on the
Yeah.
time you go. So we were just like, "Damn," but it's
No,
okay.
honestly, if it was 4 hours one way, I probably wouldn't have done it in a day.
Yeah,
Like, you guys would
no.
have had to my max for, like, a day trip because we, like, explore a lot, we travel. So for
Yeah.
me and my boyfriend, it's, like, 3 hours we think we can do in
Yeah.
one day, but that's, like,
For
hard
sure.
max. If you're going somewhere, like, further than 3 hours away, we have to stay overnight there because 'cause I'm like, then you have to wake up really early, and then you're in a rush when you get there, like, it's just not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
for sure.
But
But yeah, the only downside to Mexico City was the traffic. You really had to plan out your day according to traffic. And
that's
then
kind
the
of how
freaking
California is though, too,
that's fair.
you
That's fair.
know?
But the altitude, it is higher elevation than Colorado, like
Oh,
bunch of
really?
places in the States. Yeah, it's like 6,000 feet over elevation.
Oh my god, for, like, over sea above sea level?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so, like,
gosh.
way higher than Colorado, way higher
Did
than
you feel
Washington.
did you
I
feel
did.
lightheaded or, like, out of breath?
I felt nauseous for
Mm,
multiple days, but, like, a lingering nausea, and I was so fatigued. Like, I didn't even go out, like, out at night because I just, like, couldn't do it after a long day. I
yeah.
mentally wanted to, but my body was like, "I just need to lay down."
Yeah, and you've been in Florida, like, for almost a year now, and that's not very high elevation, so you were
No.
definitely not used to it.
Yeah. I've never
Yeah.
been in elevation like that. Have you been in
Yeah.
elevation like that?
Yeah, when I was in Colorado, remember in
Yeah.
Crested Butte, like, we filmed a
Oh,
video,
yeah.
and I remember
Oh,
I would
yes,
just go up
yes.
the stairs,
Short of breath.
and I was so short of breath and so
Yeah.
winded, and I was a little nauseous too, was definitely not used to it, but it was high. I don't know how high, but we were high up because it
Yeah.
didn't take much to make me like, "Oh my god." And I think you get drunk faster, I'm pretty sure, at higher elevation.
You know, we thought so too, but
Let me
me
look it
and
up.
Jocelyn were both like, we felt like less buzzed when we drink more that, but also I think that the drinks weren't as strong, like they were
Yeah.
fruitier and stuff. But
Oh,
ye
hold
aren't
on.
you
I think it's a
supposed to?
myth. It says
Oh,
it's a myth.
oh,
While it's a
gotcha.
common perception, you don't usually get drunk faster due to altitude alone. However, you might feel the effects of alcohol more strongly due to the combined impact of lower oxygen levels, potential
Uh,
dehydration, and the general effects of altitude sickness.
gotcha.
Because,
Okay,
yeah,
that makes
they
more
can kind of
sense.
blend together.
Yeah, I
But
was like electrolyte packets every day, my supplements every day.
yes, yeah, you got to stay on top of your routine while you're
Yeah.
traveling.
Yes. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty much it with Mexico City. That was a lot though. I was like, I can't wait to tell you these stories.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like a lot happened in just the span of a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Well, I'm so
eventful for
glad
sure.
you guys had a great trip, and now I really wanna
Yeah,
go to Mexico City.
I know. It
That was
is. It
not
is
on my
really
list,
cool.
honestly,
I
before,
know.
not because I didn't wanna go there, I just didn't know about it. Like, I didn't know
Yeah.
that there was so much to do, and it was, like, such a booming city. I feel like when I've been to Mexico, I've only like, we went for Jocelyn's bachelorette, and that was in,
Yeah.
was that
Playa.
Cancun? Or
Playa del
Playa.
Carmen.
Yeah, and then we went to, like, a wedding in Puerto Vallarta, and then my sister's getting married in Puerto Vallarta, but I've, like,
Yeah.
never been to Mexico City, and now I wanna go. So,
Yeah.
we'll have to
No, I
do
think you
that
would
one
like it.
day. So, my update probably will be a little quicker because I I was not on vacation this past week, although I wish I was. I actually moved to Monterey, California. This move was actually a little bit easier because I only had to travel, like, 13 hours from my last job. I've been loving California. I think I don't know, this is, like, the place I was meant to be. Like, I
You
just
are a
love
West Coast girly.
I am, and I just oh, I love it here so much. My job started last week, and it was a little bit stressful because I've done 6 contracts now. This was the first time that something happened very last minute. We've talked about before how sometimes, you can have a contract that's canceled or your housing falls through. Something goes not as planned, and that could be stressful. But for us so far, like, none of that had happened until this job. I want to tell you guys this because this is just the reality sometimes of travel. Basically, the clinic that we're working at, I'm not going to say the name because I don't want you guys to know where I work. 2 days before I was supposed to start this job, or 3 days, my recruiter contacts me and basically says, so actually, the clinic that you were supposed to work at, it used to be a standalone clinic. It ended up being bought out by a big, like, nonprofit corporation that also owns, like, the local hospital and, like, a bunch of other places. Because of that, you basically have to completely reapply. It's going to be the same exact job. Now it's called something else, and they have a bunch of different requirements that you have to do. Like, I was about to move the next day. And so I had to do, like, a
Crazy.
last minute drug screen. I had to reapply to the entire job. My recruiters were basically telling me that I wasn't going to start on Monday, my original start date. And I was kind of stressed because when we're not working, we don't get paid. I had already taken a week off and I didn't want to take more than that. There was just so many people communicating with me and nobody was on the same page. And it was, like, extremely stressful, especially because our rent here is expensive. It's 2,800 a month, which is more than we were paying in
Yeah.
freaking Hawaii.
Oh,
So
that's
I was a
crazy.
little stressed. You know how I am. I'm just like, when something like unexpected happens, because I'm very much like more type A. I'm not like the craziest type A person, but I'm definitely type A. Like, I like
And you're
to know
like,
what's going
get things done. Like, okay, what is next? Like, what can we
Yes.
do?
What is next? Like, yeah, like, "What do you want me to do?" And they're like, "Just
Yeah.
hang tight." And I hate when people tell me to
It's
hang
like
tight
the
because
worst.
I'm like, "I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to hang tight. Like, what does that mean?" I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna hope for the best and show up on Monday." The old HR person that basically was communicating with me and did my interview actually left the company with this whole transition. I tried to look up her email and contact her and be like, "Where am I supposed to go?" When I emailed her, it said this email address is no longer valid. And I was like literally at the facility already and the doors were locked. I had no idea. This was Monday, like the day I was
Oh my
supposed to start.
gosh.
The doors were locked. And then it was like 7:15 and I finally realized I was in the back of the building. I went to the front and then not everything was just chaotic this first week
Yeah.
because then I went and I found the new HR person and she basically said that because of this whole transition, I never got registered to do all my modules on the first day. So I was just sitting there for literally an hour and a half waiting for them to IT to fix it. So eventually they fixed it and then I got started. But it was just like there's a lot of that's happening at this clinic and it's not the clinic's fault. It's just the whole transition happened literally a couple weeks before I was supposed to start. They want me to do like mask fit testing and all this stuff. They tell you need to get this done. I'm like, well, I work. I could do it on a Wednesday, but they're like, you can't come in any Wednesdays in the next like 3 weeks because we're all booked. So it's been
That's
like a
so
little
annoying.
chaotic with the transition, but honestly, the job itself has been great. It's one-on-one, which is really nice. We have techs that kind of help us out. It's a massive clinic. It's like a huge gym. And they said we
Oh,
can work out there on weekends or after work.
nice.
So it's beautiful. Like they have so much equipment. They have like sleds, they have TRX bands. It's a very like functional gym and it's massive. Have you seen those big workout gyms that have like a giant like garage gate and they just like leave it open to like get air in? Have
Yeah.
you seen those? It's just like a big training gym. And we
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
giant turf.
Oh, I love that.
I'm obsessed with it.
Do you
Um,
like your coworkers?
I love my coworkers. Yeah,
That's
they're
good.
so nice. There's actually, I counted like 5 or 6 couples, like
Oh my
travel
God.
couples at our clinic.
That's crazy. Wait, how many PTs are there?
I have no idea. Like I would guess, oh,
Over 10 then?
absolutely. At
Oh my God,
least
that's huge.
25 or 30.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, that's the biggest I think I've ever heard.
I know, and I used to have a mega clinic in Washington, but I think there's more people here. There's so
That's
many people.
wild.
We have a front desk. We have 4 people at the front desk, and they don't do scheduling. And then we have 2 schedulers that sit here, and then 2 schedulers that sit there. So you
Wow.
extend your patients to the schedulers. The front
Yeah.
desk doesn't do any of the scheduling. So
Wow.
we have a lot of people and we have like 5 techs maybe. We have like
Okay.
3 OTs, we have PTAs, like there's so many people at this clinic.
Huh.
So it's nice
That's
because there's always
wild.
people that are like down to do stuff. And so
You're always around
yesterday,
travelers. That is really nice. Yeah.
yeah, it ends up that like we're always around travelers. It's Memorial Day weekend right now. Yesterday we did like a barbecue. One of the schedulers actually hosted it and we had a really good turnout. Like at least I'd say 15, 20 people came. It was just like great because they were telling us so minimum you have to sign a 6-month contract at this clinic. Because travelers stay longer, I feel like the permanent staff like gets closer to them and they love
Yeah.
having travelers. It was just so nice because as a traveler, sometimes you get lonely because you just don't feel like you have close friends. So we always
Yeah.
appreciate when, your coworkers just make an extra effort to be like, "Hey, like I'm hosting a barbecue, whoever wants to come can come." And we're like always down to do stuff. So, and that
Yeah.
was nice. I've been also working on planning my Europe trip. We're officially going to Mallorca, which is like a small island off
So fun.
Spain. I know I'm excited and that'll be nice because I'll get to spend a couple more days with my family after my sister's wedding. So that'll be exciting. Then we're just kind of booking like hotels and stuff for France. So
Because
kind
then
of
you're gonna be, yeah, you're gonna be in France for how many weeks?
it'll end up being about 3.5 to 4 weeks.
Okay. Dang,
Yeah.
almost pretty much a month then.
I know, yeah. And then
Yeah.
my boyfriend's cousin is getting married the weekend after my sister. So we're going to spend a couple days with their family and then kind of explore on our own. It'll be nice
Yeah.
because it'll be like a good mix of like spending time with family, both sides of our family, and then also just traveling us too, which will be nice.
Yeah. I'm so
Yeah.
jealous. I didn't
Mhm.
realize how late in the year you're going. I thought you were gonna be going, like, August, September, but you're going September,
I
October.
wish. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Like, I'm trying to enjoy my life. Like, I'm trying not to live like trip to trip, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
it's
this is gonna
hard.
be such an epic trip.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited that and I feel like I've been talking about it for like a year now because we were planning to go to France this year, even before my sister actually decided she was going to get
Yeah.
married in Barcelona. And then she said she's getting married in Barcelona. And I'm like, perfect. We'll just make our trip after your wedding. So I feel like I've been talking about this trip for so long and it's felt so
Yes,
far
definitely.
away. And it's almost June now, but I'm still like, can I go to France already?
Mhm.
Can I go
Just
to
waiting for
Barcelona?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
the
like, "Oh
highlight
my
of the
god,
year.
what am I gonna do when it's over?" Like, I need a plan,
Another trip.
but
Trip planning for next year.
yes, I know, yeah, lots to plan. But
Yes.
yeah, anyways, other updates, I saw Lilo and Stitch.
I didn't even know that that was out.
It was such a Did you ever watch it when you were a kid?
A little bit.
Okay,
Not, like, a lot, though.
you should watch it. First of all, it made me really miss Hawaii because I did a contract
Fair.
out on the Big Island, and it just made me miss Hawaii a lot. Like, I loved how close, like, families are there and how welcoming everybody was. At the clinic, we would always eat lunch together at a small table, and we would, like, catch up, and they always would be like, "Yeah, this is our work ohana, like, our work family."
So community focused.
Very community
I
focused.
really wish more places in the US did that.
Yeah, and I've never even in California, it's a very laid back lifestyle, kind of does remind me a little of Hawaii, but nothing compares to Hawaii, like how people just look out for each other. People would bring us fruits all the time to the clinic and they'd give us like even though people sometimes don't have much, they'll still give and give and give. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, people are so nice and they know like it's not easy to live out there, it's expensive, like it's hard, you're on an island, but people really look out for each other and it's very family oriented, very welcoming. I've never felt that sense of like family or home like as I did in Hawaii, and that's why I really liked
Yeah.
it. But anyways, the movie was actually really good.
Was it cartoon or, like, real
No,
humans?
it was live action, so it was real. It
Oh,
was
it
real
was real
humans.
humans.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
And
it
then
was
they
more
used
cartoon or
No, and they
animated.
use, like, CGI to make Stitch look real, and they did a really,
Oh.
really good job. I'm not gonna lie, and let me know, guys, if anybody else watched the movie, because people were saying too, I was like, "Am I the only one that, like, teared up?" And apparently a lot of people were, like, crying. There was, like, a
Aw.
very cute, like, kind of emotional scene at the end. You should watch it, I think you would like it, I don't usually like those kind of, like, Disney movies and stuff,
Yeah.
but it was so
What is
good.
it
It was
on?
so
Where did
cute.
you watch it on?
In the movie theaters.
Oh, you actually went to the movie theater?
Yes,
That's
yeah.
so funny. I don't know
I
the
know.
last time I went to a movie theater.
Oh, I know. It's been a while. I haven't been in a while, but honestly, like, it was a Friday night and wait, was it Saturday? Actually, no, it was Saturday. And all day we kind of just did almost nothing because it was really gloomy and cold here. We were like, should we just go to the movies? And it was packed, like completely packed.
Dang.
Yeah, and honestly, whenever I see a lot of people like at the mall or at the movies, it makes me feel like, I don't know, happy because I feel like people are
Yeah.
actually out and doing stuff and it's not like
No,
a
that's
dying
fair.
art anymore, you know?
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. The movie theater scene is just so different than when it used to be when we were, like, younger.
Yeah, yeah, like that was where we would go. At least for me in middle school,
Yeah.
we would go to like Red Mango and get froyo, and then we would like go to
Mhm.
the movies and you would see
Yeah.
like half your class there, I feel like.
For sure. It
But
was such an event and, like,
it was,
outing, like, 7th,
yeah.
8th grade, maybe a little bit in high school too. Yeah, I guess high school
Yeah.
too.
But you know what's
Aw.
dangerous is so AMC has these new seats. They don't have them here, but the last time we went to a movie, it was when we watched the Barbie movie. We sat in the seats that were like the recliner seats, so you're like
Yeah.
basically laying down. I think I talked about this before, but both me and my boyfriend fell asleep during the movie. Not that the movie was boring, but I was really tired and then
Very
you're like
comfy.
literally almost horizontal watching the
Yeah.
movie. Like that's almost a bad thing for me because I'm like, I just paid $17 to take a nap.
True. There you get
You
very
know?
comfy cozy in the theaters
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Anyways,
yeah, I didn't
that's
realize
my
the Lilo and
update.
Stitch was live action though. I'll definitely
Oh,
have to look into it then. Because 'cause I'm just,
that
like,
was
not
good.
a huge, like, animated movie person.
It was not animated. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, like live action. It was
Yeah.
really
Good to
good.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Cool.
that's pretty much it for my update. We wanted to do a little like get to know us game. How it'll work is like we'll alternate reading out, this person did so and so, and you guys can kind of take a second to guess, and then we'll tell you whether it was me or Mel that was the one that did this.
Yes.
Okay?
And these are all very random, kind of like fun
Super.
facts about us
Yes. Yeah. And some
in
of them
no particular order.
Yeah, in no particular order. Some of them you might have picked up on our podcast. So extra bonus points if you guys already knew the answers to these questions.
Yes.
Okay. So, first one. This person wanted to be an artist when she was younger, but her parents told her she could not make a career out of that. So, we'll give you guys a couple seconds. Who do you think it is? Okay. That one was me.
Yes. But honestly, I feel like you've definitely said this before, but we also talked about before how we were both really into design and stuff. And like, I wanted to do design, and like, people would be like,
I know that's why I was like, that one's good because it could go both ways. But
yeah, it really
yeah, it's
could.
funny. I was recently showing my boyfriend and his mom my old artwork. He's like, Alice, you literally haven't painted or drawn in the entire time that we've been in a relationship. And I'm like, yeah, but I need supplies, I need space, I need time,
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's one thing that I definitely want to get back into one day when I have a little bit more free time.
Yeah,
And
you should.
yeah, I was gonna say also Monterey, where we're at right now, there's a lot of artists. Like we literally just saw somebody like standing on the road and they had like an easel, if that's what it's called, and a canvas, and they were literally just painting. And we've seen that
Aw.
multiple times. So it's a big like artist,
Yeah,
getaway
I'm
place.
sure you could find like a studio or like classes,
Yes.
even if you
Yeah.
don't want to get your own supplies, like, getting a
Yeah. I
space
need to
too.
look into that.
Yeah. Okay, next one. This person used to use gloves as hair ties in her inpatient rotation.
Who was
Ooh. Not I.
Can you imagine? Okay, yeah, that was me.
Such a funny fact to me.
It was so random. I don't even know how I thought of that one. I was only an inpatient for 6 weeks, thank goodness. You don't want your hair ending up in like random places,
Ugh.
especially in the hospital. Like you want it tucked away. Sometimes I would forget hair ties, and one of the OTs told me like if you want, you can cut off like the wrist portion of the hair tie or the glove and then put it around your hair. So
Oh, I
fun
was wondering how
fact.
you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you do
Anyone
it.
who has their hair down in the hospitals is a different type of human.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine. I feel like I could even when my hair was up in a tight bun, I could still smell the
I see you
smell.
smell in your
Ugh.
hair.
Yeah. No, no, thank you. And I would immediately shower as soon as I got home. I'm like, ugh. Yeah, keep it
Yes.
tucked away. Okay.
Okay.
Next
This,
one.
this person was a club promoter for a month in PT school.
Do, 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 do. Take your
I think
guesses.
this is obvious. Oh my gosh,
It
my
was
promoter days.
Mel.
It actually was such a fun time to be a promoter because I was like, I love clubbing. I love going out with women, and I want women to feel comfortable and get tables and free drinks. So why don't I do it?
Yeah. Wait, I didn't realize it was only a month. It felt like a longer period
It
of
felt
time.
really long, but
Yeah.
the peak of it, the main part of it was like a month, and then I
Okay.
trailed off because we had like that 1 month in October where we had like 2 exams a week.
Oh,
It was like an insane month, and I was like, I
yeah.
cannot do that.
That was terrible actually though. So that was our
It
second year of
was
PT
terrible.
school
Yeah.
because it started out super, super slow and you're
So
like,
chill.
oh, I'm straight chilling. Like
Yeah.
we went out on, remember, Thursday nights because we didn't have
Yeah.
class until like noon or
That was when
something
I
or
was a
10.
promoter.
That's when Mel was a promoter. And then all of a sudden, October was the most insane time of our lives. Like that's when I sprained my ankle. Remember that? I literally, yeah, I sprained my ankle because it was at the end of the month and I just needed to blow off some steam. And I guess I just
You
had
went
a
to a concert?
little, I went to a concert, yeah, but I
Yeah.
never made it to the concert because I sprained my ankle so bad. That
Yeah.
was a crazy time. So I'm not surprised that you kind of fell off your promoter horse.
It was so fun though.
It was
I like
really
loved it.
fun.
Like
Yeah,
they
we
knew my name
went.
at these clubs, and like I would
Yeah.
just say Melanie's table.
Yeah.
It was a vibe.
Remember we went to that, was it Underground that we went to in Chicago? And then they were just like, basically like the girls are begging us to just like take all the drinks. And I'm like, is this what heaven feels
I
like?
feel like that happened a couple places. I think that was Play.
It might have been Play, yeah. The one where we
Yeah,
were like,
yeah.
we went later on and we
The
went to,
blonde girl that was like had the platter of the
yeah,
shots. Yeah,
like small
Play.
little shots, but it was like a
Yeah,
platter of them.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this is great. Like, where has it been all my life? But
Those are the days.
those were the days. That's fun. Okay. Next one. This person booked a last-minute trip to the Dominican Republic the day after taking boards because she had to flee the country.
This could so be either one of us.
Oh yeah,
I
I
feel like
know.
this is very much a us coded thing.
I know. Honestly, we should have just all done it together. But that one was me. I think it took like 2 days for me to be like, okay, I can't do this anymore because it takes
Mm.
a week about to get your results. I found like this really, really good trip. It was all inclusive, all you can eat, all you can drink. It was like the stay and everything was included. And then the flight for like, I think under like $1,000 or
I was
something.
gonna
It
say, I
was
feel like I remember you saying it was under 1,000.
yeah, it
I
was
was
a
like, okay.
great deal. And I'm like, okay, like I just need to go somewhere and get my mind off of this and like be on
Yeah.
the beach, relaxing, like just chilling instead of driving myself nuts over here. Because
Yeah.
we were down in the dumps. Like all of us were convinced that we had failed. And you will probably feel like you failed your boards.
Definitely.
After you take them,
Definitely.
even if you passed.
Mhm.
So, anyways, we ended up going on this trip and it was actually a great trip. And that was, I think, my boyfriend's and I's first international trip, actually. So that was
Yeah.
really fun. I did that. I was like, you know
So
what?
last
This is
minute.
meant to
I loved
be.
it.
Yeah,
I was rotting in bed watching Grey's Anatomy and you were
I
in
remember.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah. I was also kind of like my mind was rotting, but I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Life goes on.
At
I'm gonna
least you
go.
were somewhere else.
Yes. And I remember we went on like this horseback tour thing on the beach and we got
Oh
home
yeah.
and everybody started posting those dang blue circles like the pass the
Yeah.
pass thing and I was like oh my gosh like our group chat was blowing up and I'm like I can't relax. I just wish I would have gotten mine without knowing that everybody else got theirs because I was
Fair.
towards the end. I feel like I think
Yeah.
you
We
were
were
too.
definitely towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was super
Ugh,
stressful and I was just sitting on
stressful.
the couch like refresh refresh refresh. Oh my goodness. Highly recommend.
We love a last minute trip out the country.
I know.
Okay, next one. This person figure skated for 13 years, which also could go for either of us.
Yes, that's true. For different periods of time.
Yes,
Okay.
but it was me. Yes,
Yeah,
that was
wait,
my
so when did you
longest
start?
sport. I started when I was like 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah, I started when I
Yeah,
was like 6 or 7 and then I quit right before high school. So whatever
gotcha.
that math is.
Yeah.
9 years, I guess?
Okay.
8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I quit senior year of high school because I was like, well, I'm not going to do this in college. I don't want to be a college athlete. There's no point of me continuing this. Also, my rink was in the suburbs and I went to school downtown Chicago. So it was just like so inconvenient out the way. And I was like,
It is.
whatever.
Yeah. And then eventually I feel like when you do a sport for that long, like at first it's really fun, but then for me it just ended up becoming like not so fun anymore.
Yes,
And I wanted
agree.
it to be more of like a hobby, like something that I like
Yeah.
to do rather. So that's why when I went to high school, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a new person, like a new thing for me, and I'm gonna do like swim team instead.
Yeah.
I still love figure skating. It's funny that we have like so much weirdly in common.
We do.
Like, because figure skating is not a common sport. Like,
No.
not a lot of people actually figure skated. So I was like, what? Like, what are the odds that like we both like got paired together? We both were figure skaters. We both have like
Yeah.
parents speak another language. Like, both like kind of from the Chicago or like the Chicagoland area. I'm like, what?
hmm
It
Yeah.
really did
A
be a
lot
good
of
up.
synchronicity and what do they call it? Like serendipity.
Yeah, I'm like what? How do they know? Okay, this person speaks Greek. Don't look at our last names because that'll give it away.
That's true.
All right.
Well, if you don't know our last names, it is
Yeah.
me. And I feel like most people would think it's not me because I'm mixed and I don't look like a typical Greek person, but
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
like, how do people react when you tell them like you're Greek? Are they usually like, "Oh, what?"
Yeah, like, it's always, like, a expression of, like, confusion, but also, like, amazement, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm half, but I was raised Greek."
Yeah.
Actually, when I told the couple asked me what my ethnicity was in Mexico City, and I was like, "Oh, guess." And I can't even remember what they guessed, but it was not anywhere close to that. Then I told them, and they were like, "Whoa, like, that's so interesting, like, that's so cool, like, who is what, and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, that's the reaction I usually get. Um,
Yeah. You know what's interesting is like, when I tell people, because usually people are like, "Okay, she's white." Like, yeah, I'm white. But I'll be like, "Okay, what do you think my ethnicity is?" And they'll usually guess that I'm from Spain. Like,
Really?
they'll say, like, "You're
Huh,
Spanish." Like,
wow,
not Mexican, they'll say Spanish. I'm like, "No."
interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe it's
Huh,
like the dark hair, dark
dark
eyes, like
features,
dark
yeah.
features. Like I have kind of, I would say, olive skin. So I'm like, maybe, but I don't look like the typical like Ukrainian person because people think Ukrainian and they're usually like blonde with blue eyes,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, like
okay, that
lighter
makes sense.
lighter features for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom gets Spanish a lot too, but
Yeah.
'cause of the dark features, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's interesting.
This person played badminton in high school. Was it Mel? No, but it was me. Swim team was a no-cut sport. So everybody made it. Even though I sank like a rock, I still swam in high school. I only survived 2 seasons, but then I also did badminton and I actually had to try out for that sport. I had no prior experience. Surprisingly, I had a lot of hand-eye coordination. I made the team and I was ranked probably one of like the lowest on our entire team. I stuck to that for 3 seasons and I
You
surprisingly
persevered.
no, really, I loved the sport. I'm pretty competitive actually when it comes to like something like that. I loved badminton. I loved my coach. I made a gift for him like every year. That was a great team. I loved like being on a team because you still, even though like you're playing individually and on partners, like you still also like all your scores add up as a team.
Mm,
And
I
it was
see.
just a fun sport. Like it felt like lower stakes for me because it was also like, I don't care. I'm just kind of doing this for fun with my friends, but it was
Yeah.
a really great sport. And I tell people I played badminton, they're like, "What? Like that's
Yeah, I
sport?"
would never guess that for you. It's
Yeah,
so
I
random.
have to dig up somewhere my old like badminton photos. Oh my gosh. It was me and 4 of my friends and we recreated the Beatles photo. And in one of the photos, like the one of the guys is not wearing shoes. And so they decided for me, I'd be the one that wasn't wearing shoes. So there's one
Oh, I
picture
need
where
to
we're like,
see
there's
these.
4 of us walking on the grass and I'm like not wearing shoes. And my feet look like abnormally long for some reason. I'm like, ew. I'll find those. I need to find
That
them.
is hilarious. This person has a tattoo of the Chicago flag.
Who is
That
it?
one can also go either way,
Yeah,
but
true. We picked some good ones that could confuse people.
yeah, I didn't even mean to, but
Yeah.
a lot of these are like could definitely be both of us. But it
Okay.
was me. My first year of college, I was in Ohio and I was like, "Huh, I really am glad I'm from Chicago."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I just love Chicago so much." Like, I am so thankful I'm from Chicago. And so I actually got 2 tattoos at once. So I got the Chicago flag and then
Mhm.
another tattoo on my back because I was like, 2 for 1, it's cheaper that way. Great.
Your first tattoo?
Yes, yes.
Nice. Yeah, I really
Yeah.
like that Chicago one a lot.
I
It's
know.
nice.
Sometimes people would be like, 4 stars, what are you, a 4-star girl? I'd be like, "Bitch, it's a Chicago flag." Like,
Oh,
let's be
yeah.
for real.
Yeah. But it's also like a conversation starter, you know?
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah, for
always are like,
sure.
"Oh, like what is your tattoo?" You know?
I actually get a lot of patients that ask me like, "Oh, what do your tattoos mean on, like, my
Mhm.
arms?" And then
Yeah.
I'll tell them.
Yeah. This person is obsessed with donuts. This one I feel like could go either way too. But,
That's
like, we're
true.
talking obsessed.
Like, we'll eat a donut every day. Yeah.
Alright, who is it?
Me definitely could eat a donut every day of my life and be content. I think a lot of people get confused because I am very health conscious and like uppity and kind of crunchy, but I will fuck up a donut. Like anytime patients bring us donuts at work, I am like the first one eating them, and it
Yeah.
love it. It like makes my day when
Yeah.
people give me donuts.
Yeah.
I love it. I
People
don't know what
bring
it is.
At my last job, people brought a lot of donuts that I almost got sick of them. Initially, my brain, and this is crazy because I'm the biggest sweet tooth probably
Yeah.
ever. Like I used to
Mhm.
eat so much ice cream, so much sugar. And it's weird because now, like the thought of something that sweet is not as appetizing to me. But I
True.
think it's because so many of our patients brought us donuts. And
Yeah.
I would eat one, like I would take a bite and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is very sweet. I still like donuts, but I think that because patients, I'm not even kidding, we used to bring them every single day. And it was like giant boxes of
I
donuts
love that.
and sweets and treats. I know. And I think that that made me like not like them
That's
as much.
funny.
But we're
Are you
spoiled.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because I actually don't care about cupcakes. Cookies are
I
Cake
love
is
cookies.
depends. You love cupcakes?
Cookies. I don't like
Cookies.
cupcakes. Same thing. Like the frosting
Yeah,
is too sweet. It's just
same.
feels too artificial, like too much sugar.
Yes, yes. Like,
Yeah.
I will never go buy a cupcake. Absolutely
Mm,
never in my life. But, like,
no.
donuts, they're so fluffy and doughy and,
If they're
they're just,
fresh
like, so
donuts
good.
if they're
Yeah.
fresh donuts and they're,
Yes,
like, good
yes.
quality, I'm like, "Okay, yes, I could fuck with
Yeah,
that." If they've been sitting out for a little, they just get stale quick, and I'm like, "Eh, I don't
I
know."
can eat some day-old munchkins.
Okay, Munchkin? Remember we used to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get, like, Munchkin because 'cause they're not a dollar,
Those are,
10
like
cents?
yeah,
They were
I think
cheap.
they were cheap, but
Yeah.
that was, like,
Yeah.
our study breaks. We'd go get Dunkin'
Yes, a
Donuts
Munchkin is, like, the perfect
munchkins.
size where it's
It
like,
is.
"Okay, like, I could pop that and
Yeah.
be, like, content," you know? This person refuses to work with pediatrics under 9. Okay, this one also I feel like could go both ways too. So, Mel was the one that said this one, but
Yeah.
honestly, same. I would say for me, like I've worked with kids like that are 5, 6 in the clinic, and especially with the clinic I'm
Oh,
currently
no.
at, it's just like when you see a kid in outpatient, they look at it as like a jungle gym, like a
Yeah.
playground, and they just go just a little bit crazy when they have this giant space and so much equipment that to them looks like a playground.
Mhm.
I told my clinic I would be willing to see kids as young as 8, and that's it. I'm not seeing
Mm.
any younger in this space
Yeah.
unless I'm, like, locking them
Absolutely
in a
not.
treatment room and we're staying there the whole time, you know? Like, it's
Yeah,
different. I
absolutely
like
not.
peds. I like school peds because I would
You
just tell
do.
them, "Oh, I'm a teacher." And then they actually listen and they're on their best behavior because they're, like, mentally they're in school and they have to listen to their, superiors. But in outpatient, I don't know what it is, kids just are totally different than they are in school, and I can't handle
Mm.
someone under the age of
Gotcha.
8
That's
or 9.
interesting. I would have never thought about it like that actually, because I know you like
Yes.
school peds,
I
but I guess
love
I didn't
school
know what the
peds.
difference what would be. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I always tell my clinics, yeah, nothing under 9. Honestly, realistically, I don't want to see anything under high school age, but there's some cooler 7th and 8th graders that I've seen and I'm like,
Oh,
okay, I
yeah.
can talk to like a normal human. At my clinic right now, we actually have a peds therapist, so she sees all them. So it's like
Perfect.
perfect setup.
Enjoy.
Give me all the 90-year-olds if you want. I don't care.
Yeah. Yes, I love a good 90-year-old. I
I
have a
do too.
93 or 94-year-old patient right now. He's crushing it, and he told me his wife is, like, 10 plus years younger than him. I'm like, "Good for
Okay.
you." She keeps him young. People are pretty healthy here, I noticed.
No,
It's
that's
kinda
fair.
nice to see. That's how I wanna
It's
be when
nice
I'm
switch up.
90. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanna be, like, making jokes. I wanna be driving. I wanna be getting my nails done. Like, that's the only
Mhm.
way I wanna be when I'm, like, in my 80s, 90s.
Literally.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. Okay, last one. This person was voted most likely to lose her iPad amongst our PT school class.
This one only goes one way.
Yeah. This one's a pretty clear answer here, and it is
It is
Alice.
me. Yeah, we had, like, superlatives at the end of our, like, PT school, there was like a bunch and we all were required. I don't know about everybody else's programs, but ours required us to buy an iPad. It was part of your tuition. They had like all of these programs and stuff on it that they wanted us to have. Every single day I would be, you know, that like little like find my iPhone sound?
Yeah.
They like, Alice lost her iPad again. So yeah, that
Yes.
was me. I got voted #1 most likely to lose her iPad.
Yeah.
And
You
that is still
forgot
valid
things a lot.
to this day.
Yeah.
That's like a clear sign of ADD, I feel like, is like
Yeah.
misplacing things, but not losing them because like you forgot, losing them because you were thinking about 12 different things in your head when you set that thing down and then you left and completely forgot about where you put it down. So
Yeah.
it's not like
Mhm.
memory, it's more like not paying attention or like trying to split your attention in like 12 different ways. So,
Didn't you leave it in cadaver lab once?
no, ew, I never brought my
Oh, that
iPad
wasn't
into
you.
cadaver lab.
Oh,
No.
okay. Okay, that must have been someone else
Well, it's
then.
because I didn't do cadaver lab with you guys, so that definitely wasn't me.
Oh, you're right. That's fair. I forgot that
Ew,
was
I
first
would
year.
never bring my iPad into cadaver
Blech.
lab. I don't care if it's in a bag, sealed. Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never. We had like textbooks in there that just stayed in there, and then you wear gloves, and we would use those. But
Blech.
I would
Juices all
never.
over the textbooks.
But yeah, they were gross. Yeah, those textbooks were only kept in there and nowhere else.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyways,
All right.
let's get into our
Yes.
Q&A.
Yes. So questions that you guys have sent either to our like Google form where you could ask us questions or through social media. So the first one was, how do you manage everything with furniture every time you're moving? We don't because we have furnished apartments. So like right now in this living room, I can probably count on my hand how many things I brought.
Yeah.
And it's not the table, it's not the couch, it's not the coffee table, it's not the TV, it's not the stand. Like all of these apartments that we get are fully furnished. So it's really just like whatever things you want to bring, your clothes, whatever kitchen stuff you want, like all of like no furniture, which is amazing.
Yeah. No, I really like it. So same with me. Usually when you go somewhere, think about it almost like an Airbnb. Right now I'm sitting here and we have these little like placemats like that. They'll usually provide stuff like that. So they'll make it feel homey. They should make it feel homey.
Yes.
Because it's for like traveling healthcare professionals. Like they have a couch, like they need to have all the appliances for you to be able to live without bringing all your own stuff. But
Yeah.
sometimes they differ. So like sometimes one place will have a crock pot, sometimes one place will have a blender, sometimes they won't have either of those things. So it's good to talk
Hmm.
to the landlord and make sure that they have everything that you need, because if not, then you need to bring it on your own. Personally, I bring all my spices because I don't
Yeah.
like unseasoned food and I don't want to buy all my spices and they're expensive, like to buy them all
Time.
every
Yeah.
single time. So I'll bring spices. I'll bring like little like cooking
Yeah.
things. I'll bring some
Yeah.
utensils or whatever, but you don't need to because they usually have all of that too. That's also how we did our clinicals. Because Northwestern at least required us to do one out of state one. So we knew about Furnish Finder even like during PT school. If you have any more questions about housing and stuff, it's actually much easier than you would think because you just have to
Hmm.
move your clothes and like your toiletries,
Yeah.
basically.
Pack up a car and that's all you got.
Go. Yeah. It's not too bad.
Okay,
Okay.
next question.
Yeah. What happens if you don't use all of the housing and meal stipend? So we've talked
It's
about how your
yours.
pay works. Yeah. Basically, it's yours. The only thing is, if you are struggling to find housing, and then this is what I've heard, but I can't still believe that it's true. But if you have the company find you housing, then they just take your entire stipend. So I would not
Oh,
recommend that. Usually, the stipend covers more than plenty of your housing.
yeah.
The stipend is a majority of your pay because it's untaxed. You want the stipend to be as high as possible. You want it to be maxed out. So there's a housing and a meal stipend, and it's calculated based off of like the day, the max that they could offer you for that day, and then you get it for the whole week.
Have you had a company offer that?
To find housing for you?
Yeah.
No, because I've
Okay.
always been able to find it myself, and it's way cheaper than if like
Yeah.
they were to keep your entire stipend and find it for you. Just keep whatever you don't use. It's technically a stipend, but you don't have to use it for that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's really nice,
And
especially like if you travel with somebody, like I travel with my
Mhm.
boyfriend, because it ends up being cheaper for the both of us and we get to pocket more of that stipend.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, They say living stipend. Technically, that's more than just rent, right? That's gas, that's groceries, that's utilities if you need to. I mean, usually you don't pay
Everything.
utilities, but like whatever, gym membership or whatever, like living situation, right? Like your
Yeah.
monthly bills. So it can go to any of that stuff.
You don't have to
Yeah.
spend it a specific way. They're not
No,
telling you
you
like
don't have to.
you have to spend your money this way.
And you also don't have to tell them. Like, I have never once told my company how much my rent is, how much my bills
No.
are. Like, never. You never have to tell them any of that information. Honestly, they don't even ask, or that shouldn't even be a part of
Care.
it, right? Like,
Yeah.
they shouldn't even care.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a red flag if they do ask, like, to negotiate that, because no.
Yeah.
Next question. Literally all the PT travel advice. I graduate in December and am desperate to travel. I've definitely got a lot of December people, graduates messaging me as well. And definitely before anything, listen to our 2 episodes about travel. So, our second episode was going over the difference between internal and external travel and kind of everything you need to know about the differences. A little bit ago, we did an episode on how to travel. And I'm pretty sure the title says how to travel like correctly or how to travel, just like in general for any profession and like healthcare.
Mhm.
And that one really breaks down just like for any healthcare worker that wants to travel, how to kind of travel correctly, things you should look for, interview things you should ask and look out for, how to vet them correctly, stuff like that. So definitely listen to those 2 episodes and then message us or submit yourself into our form so we can contact you depending on if you want to do internal or external or whatnot. We will hook you up with good recruiters for both.
Last question that we got in our Google form actually was, do most PTs not make 6 figures or can you work your way up? It depends on a lot of things. With travel, out of school, both of us were making 6 figures and that was take home too. Before tax, technically we were probably making much more than that. As a permanent employee, which most people start off perm, it depends on where you live. It depends on the cost of living. I've heard in like New York, for example, because one of my coworkers at my last job was from New York. Remember how you were saying they make 60K? It was true. Like, absolutely. There's certain areas
Insane.
where new grad PTs make 60K. And that was crazy to me, but they said it was because the reimbursement is so bad in New York and before tax.
Before taxes.
Yeah.
Literally
I'm
insane.
like,
I like
how?
cannot believe
That's
that's even
horrible.
legal.
Yeah. But in Washington, for example, at a one-on-one clinic that we had worked at, we talked to one of our coworkers that was a new grad and they were making like 90K, which is much better considering it's
Yeah.
a one-on-one clinic. So that's pretty good, but still that's like before tax and we have a
Right.
doctorate degree and it's
Right.
2025. So it really kind of is hard. You usually don't start off making 6 figures as a new grad perms employee. With more experience, usually every year, like if you stay with the company, they'll like increase your salary a little bit every year. And just to like match, I guess, inflation and stuff too, because everything just keeps getting more expensive. Physical therapy pay depends on the number of years of experience that you have. So you can negotiate a little bit better if you have like more experience, which like as a new grad, you don't really have much. So it's kind of hard to negotiate that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, definitely like at the end of the day though, negotiate and look at other companies. Like you should
For
never just be
sure.
looking at one company.
Yeah.
But with my company, obviously I'm an internal traveler. With the people who are in their perm positions, I have talked to multiple people at my company from different states and areas and whatnot. And for new grads, the average is about 75K a year as a new grad.
Yeah,
Yeah, as
that's
a
crazy.
perm,
And you
right?
guys are
So
kind of
like,
a busy clinic too. So like, where's
yes,
that money going?
definitely. Right. Like the expectations are that you see doubles, maybe sometimes triples, depending on the clinic. I actually had one person that told me as a new grad, they were offered 69K, which is fucking ridiculous.
God
And as
bless.
literally, as a manager, he is now a manager. I am still making more than him as a manager.
Yeah. Well, you're a traveler, so that makes sense, but
Yes.
that's crazy.
Yes. But
And
still,
you know
he's
how
the
much
clinic
normal work?
manager.
Yeah, he's probably putting in
So,
like at least 50, 60 hours a week or something.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. Because you were
But
saying
you,
your managers too also have a full caseload.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's wild. I've
Yeah.
never been at a
Right.
clinic where a manager sees a full caseload.
Yeah, I didn't know that even existed before this company, but I'm like, I'm a traveler. I'm in a different world over
You're in
here.
a different world,
But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. So, yeah, definitely we've already talked about this, but you definitely wanna negotiate, see what options you have, even if that means working at, like, a smaller, like, startup clinic. Sometimes maybe you'll get paid a little bit less, but at least, like, you won't be burnt out or you'll have, like, good
Yeah.
mentorships. It
Right.
depends on what you want and what you wanna prioritize. So,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely advocate for yourself, and there is good paying jobs out there. It just
totally.
might not necessarily be in, like, the specific area that you want, you know? If
Mhm.
you wanna prioritize having a 5-minute commute at a clinic that's right by your house, then yeah, go to work at that clinic. So it just depends on your, like, priorities. So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
will say though, there's definitely room to grow in the PT world or just like healthcare world in general. Like there's always opportunities for growth, like becoming clinic managers, directors of whatever. Like there's opportunities to grow. So if that is also a concern of yours, like look at companies that have those opportunities to grow. My company, there's perm PTs, there's travelers, there's the clinic managers, and then there's the district managers, and then there's managers of the state, and then there's more levels. So a lot of people like that about my company because they want to be able to grow and get higher up in the companies. Definitely look at that as well.
Yeah. If you guys have more questions, I know most of the questions we get are about travel. So we love getting
Yeah.
travel questions, but also feel free to ask us about
Anything
literally
else?
like anything. One girl commented, messaged me and gave me a bunch of recommendations for like the place that I'm staying at right now.
Oh my God,
So
that's so
if you guys just want
nice.
to chat or whatever, yeah, she gave me a
Yeah.
whole list, which was super
Let's
nice.
chat.
Let's chat because we love to talk to you guys and like get to know you guys as well. We hope you guys enjoyed this month's Break Room Talks episode. We love filming them for you guys. As always, if you have any questions for us, feel free to DM us or add it to our Google form. We try to check that pretty regularly. If you are interested in beginning your travel career and getting paid to explore new places just like us, fill out the Recruiter Rex Google form or even DM us and we will get you connected with one of our trusted recruiters that we've worked with before. Follow us on all platforms at the Physio Diaries podcast and leave us a 5-star review because we are 5-star girlies and would love to get bigger guests for you guys onto the podcast. Have a great rest of your week and we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.